this computer. Alrighty, hello. Thank you so much for joining for the inaugural episode of Let's Talk About It series. That is my Instagram handle. I'm probably gonna have to change that, but I couldn't think of anything else. I
It's
was like,
good
'cause it was
though. It
that good. Yeah,
works. It
exactly. It was that
works.
good. It's branding. It's the last name. So if you for some reason or if you don't know me, which is probably how most people will find this video, my name is Aaron Letts. I am a composer based out of Detroit currently. And so both of my degrees are in music, bachelor's in music ed, master's music composition. And I'm kind of, that mid 20s post grad person that's still trying to figure it out. And so, in reflecting about my experiences and how to move forward, this idea kind of came up. And so I wanted to invite some really good friends of mine and colleagues that I've met over the years about their experiences and kind of with music. Most of them are educators, and like namely the one that saved it for me. My best friend, Sylvalia Brown, is my first podcast host. I say podcast with trying not to throw in my mouth because the thought of having one, I'm like, okay, am I going to be another Gen Z person with a podcast? Sure. But this one's different. We're talking about an actual
This one's
subject.
different. This one's
Yes.
different.
Yes. We're talking about actual subject. It's not just gender wars or dumb things or something like that. Um, and it's PG, so for everyone. So yeah, but I'll go ahead and move it over to Val. Just introduce yourself and let us know who you are.
Okay, so like he said, I'm his best friend. Yay. My name is Val. Um, I am an educator. This is my fifth year, going into my fifth year in education, of course, music education, for voice and choral. So I'm a choir director. Um, I currently have two groups. I have a concert choir and a select ensemble. We moved from the direction of women's choir, moving into a select ensemble with like more a cappella music and everything like that. I met Aaron in college in undergrad, at the University of Southern Mississippi. And we met and it was just kind of like, hey, let's be friends. And we never stopped being friends. Many have come, many have gone. But we just never stopped being friends. And so that's just a little bit about me. I'm in my late 20s trying to still figure it out. And so yeah, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Val. I laughed because that is literally how we met. I was just like, I saw her in class one day and I was like, I want to be her friend. I went up to her and I was like, can we be friends?
Literally, literally. And it just
And she
started
was
from
like, of
there.
course, sure. And I'm like,
Literally, that's how it started. That's exactly how it
exactly. And it's
started.
been there through trauma after trauma, trial after tribulation, and we're still
Woo!
here.
We're still
We're
here.
still here. But already, yeah. So the as I mentioned before, the purpose of this podcast is kind of like a little bit more of the journey of that post grad professionalism in music. And so this episode will be more music education based. And so wanted to just talk with you about just kind of um, how things have been, obviously whatever you're comfortable with expressing, of course, but just shedding some light on those first couple of years that I feel like a lot of teachers they mention, but they're like, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll get over it, and then you'll have a couple of years. And so, I wanna shed some light on those couple of years from people in our situation because
Okay.
it's been a journey. And a lot of
Uh-huh.
people I've met, we've had different paths. I am not in a music setting right now, trying to kind of come back a little bit. You are in a music setting right now, but you didn't actually start that way, right? You and we'll talk about that, and I'll turn it over to you. But your story is really interesting, and I know a couple other people who have also asked on this series about how you actually didn't really start in music. You started in education, but you didn't start in music, and now you're
Right.
there. So
Right.
I
Right.
wanted to ask you about your experience with that and kind of just take us through the timeline.
Okay, so yeah, I did not start in the classroom of music. I actually started in a behavioral classroom. I graduated 2021, so it was still like in the midst of COVID and everything like that. And there were no jobs available. Um there were no jobs available, and we get told that all the time as musicians, that music jobs come a dime and a dozen, and so it's really hard. But there were no jobs available. All the jobs that I interviewed for required me to move like 4 or 5 hours away. And I was putting myself out there for them, but I just did not get a call back. And so, I had a church job where I was teaching music at that time. So I still was a music director and a children's director doing music that way. I was doing that probably halfway until the end of college, a year after. But I started off in a behavioral classroom as a full-time TA. And I just knew that I needed a job to start an education. I know some people can take breaks and they can be like, oh, like, I'm gonna take a break in my undergrad degree and come back a little bit later, or I'm gonna take a break from this job and come back later. I know me, and I know that's not what I would do. Like, if I would have taken a break from education after I graduated, I probably would have found another job. Like, I probably would be in like IT right now or something like that. And so I got in the classroom, and since it was a full-time TA position, and I had my certification, it is a year that counted towards my retirement. So I have to claim that as a year in education. And it came with the benefits, it came with the health care and everything. And that was really important to me at that time, especially with COVID and everything. And so that's how I started. I hated every second of it. I hated every second of it. I loved being with kids though. Like I said, I loved being with kids. I was already the children's director of my church. But it taught me so much. It taught me so much about, more so, unfortunately, what I didn't want to be. But those lessons are good too, and so after that, I got an offer to come back to where basically my second home, the coast, and teach in my alma mater school district. I did that for a few years, and then I left, and now I'm in the school district that I'm in now. So I have gone through like elementary, I have gone to middle school for a few years, and now I am at the high school level. And so it has been all over the place. It's been all over the place, but somehow, some way, it makes sense now, and it's worked out. But it took like year 5 for it to make sense. So, I just, leaving the field of college, which really is a field in itself, and trying to find jobs, it, nobody prepares you for it. Nobody really talks about it in depth. It's like you said, everybody just kind of pushes you out. Oh, you'll be fine. It's hard. It's hard. Um, it's very difficult. So, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I get that. Again, I laugh not to like laugh at her story or anything like that. If y'all don't know us, we talk basically like once a week for hours about this anyway. That's kind of how this podcast idea kind of started to begin with, is that we've had so many conversations
Yup.
and on each other a lot over these last couple of years to like
Yes.
to get us through
Yes.
these thoughts. And so that was what one of my questions is actually going to be. Like, during this 5 years, how did you kind of approach this sense of not doing enough and like navigate through the like, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing type of sense to get where you are now?
Mm. It's something that I still struggle with, to be honest. Um, it's something that I still struggle with. And it's like you look around and you're like, oh my gosh, like this and I've done that and I have this and I have like these amazing students and I've built up this program and all the things like that. But along in that process has definitely been a lot of grieving towards like what I had thought my life would look like.
Mhm.
Um and not only so much like what I thought it would look like, even if it wasn't a clear picture, I can honestly say I never thought that at 27 this is what my life would look like, you know. And
Mhm.
so even as far as like I've been giving voice lessons, since my junior year of college, and because it's been so much transition, because the job has been so taxing, I've had to let go of it. And then, you come back to it, and it always feels like when you come back to it, like now we're in a recession, so it's just not the same as it was before. People don't just have the money to shovel up for the voice lessons they did. And, you're qualified. You've been doing voice lessons for over 8 years and you have your degree and you have these years in education. So you don't want to lower your prices to like $40 an hour, because you have these qualifications. And so it's a lot of things I've had to let go. It's interesting that we talk about this because I went to summer conference this year, which was a great time. And I got a chance to be one of the directors and like direct my colleagues, and we had some breakout sessions. And the people that I had in my session, we really, really, really talked about how when you get thrown in the education system, especially education systems where we reside in Mississippi, and in the South, nothing can prepare you and nobody talks to you about how different life is outside of college. Um, it's so different. You do not have the community you have. You do not have the community in the ensembles that you play with. You do not have the community of the people being in the classes with you that will go get lunch with you and study with you. And oftentimes, in full transparency, you don't have the resources you had. You don't have the practice rooms. You don't have the performance spaces to book if you want to do something. And it has been hard, I think, for all of us. And I know college is where some people definitely thrive, and different things like that. I think just outside of that, I don't really think I spruced up in college. But just the community and the accessibility, moving on your own, living on your own, not going back to your family, not moving to teach in a place where your family resides or to get a degree where your family resides, especially just in the midst of what we were in, which was COVID, where we were already so isolated. It definitely took a toll on my mental health. I know it took a toll on others' mental health as well. And so nobody really prepares you that like these great ideas that you get in college, and you're like, oh, well, when I get a group, I want to do this and I want to do that. Oftentimes you're put in a classroom with kids who don't even know what a treble clef is. You're not singing and performing this music that you did, with the Southern Chorale or with the USM Orchestra. It's just not that. And I think we just don't talk enough about the disappointment and how quickly you have to like accept the disappointment and then adapt into doing what you know you can do. And so it's hard. It's hard, especially in education in K through 12. Sometimes you never really know what you're going to get. In middle school, I never knew what I could get. I could have a solid program one year and one semester, and then the next year, all the influx of kids come in, and, admin and counselors are throwing them in your class because they need somewhere to put kids, and you just never know what you're going to get. And so it's a constant, constant starting over. And so I just think these things just aren't talked about enough.
Yeah, I fully agree. That's a lot of the topics you just touched on are things that I were originators for the whole idea of putting this together.
Yeah.
Um, like the reality versus disappointment. I feel like there's a certain level that we know is there. Like, of course, like we're not going to be playing all this, um, this level music and stuff like that. But it's like, oh, the community building, um, having an ensemble that wants to be there and things like that, and wants to put together this music, even though it might be a little bit difficult. But then you get into the K through 12 system, and as you mentioned, there are students who may have discovered a passion for music a little bit later, and so now we're going through, FACE and Every Good Boy Does Fine. And you just have students that are like, I didn't want to be in PE.
Yep.
And so I'm here, and now you have to like get not let them affect the rest of the ensemble and things like that.
And I'm sorry
Um,
to interrupt you, but the thought came to it's so different in college because you all are there because of a similar love of music. And
mhm,
so your director doesn't have to make you fall in love with music. They don't have to make you fall in love with the process. And yet, as educators, we're expected to make these kids fall in love with music, make these kids fall in love with the process. And it's just a reality of I don't believe that was always our job. And number two, it's a heavy load to carry. It's a heavy load to carry because everybody is not going to love it the way that you love it and dedicate yourself to it. And that's fine. It doesn't make them a bad student. I don't think anything different of the kid who originally wanted PE, but there was no more spots, so they had to put him in choir. I think that it's a selfish thing where um just in the school systems where it's like from counselors and admin and they're like, oh well, you have to go somewhere. And I can understand that they're just doing their job and also accept the fact that they're making my job harder.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and have you felt like an acknowledgement from some of your administrators about that? Like, have you felt that like they're like, yes, like I so understand this is not ideal. I'm so sorry. We'll get through this together, and I'll support you. Or has it been a mix, or has it just been like a that's why we pay you the well, I won't say the big bucks, but the bucks.
Yeah, not the big bucks. Let never has been big. Never has been big for what I've given. Never. However, um I've been in 3 school districts. Um and so I think on a personal level, I'm grateful for it. Um because I've seen what leadership looks like in 3 different ways. And
Mhm,
I've been able to see what is actually different based off of the person, based off of the care, based off of the experience, and what just simply is because it's the education system.
mhm.
And so it's been a mix. I think all educators can say the first year you start working somewhere, oh, what can we do for you? Is there anything you need? And they are gassing you up. And it's like after that first year,
You got it.
baby, you got it. And then like you're receiving all these things or these issues that weren't an issue your first year, but now they want you to change this and they want you to change that. Um, one thing that I and you know me very well. Not a lot surprises me. One of our slogans that we say all the time is it's never surprising, but it's always disappointing. And I think one thing that I have come to notice in my 5 years of education and with 3 different administrations, 3 different counselor teams, is to not put too much hope in them.
Mhm,
People are people. It doesn't matter if they have the principal title. It doesn't matter if they have an admin title. It doesn't matter if they taught for 28 years. It doesn't matter if they have been leading in a principal role for 10 years. Um, and this has nothing to do with where I am or, what I'm dealing with now or what I dealt with in the past or what. This is just all around from things that I've dealt with, from things I've seen other people deal with, and all the things like that. These admin are people, these counselors are people, these teachers are people, and people are gonna people. Sometimes I've been in situations where it depends on the day. Sometimes I've been in situations where it depends on what parents are backing me up. Sometimes I've been in situations where it's who I know, right? And
Yep.
so one thing that I have come to understand is that this education system is just like a corporate system. It is very political. And I think nobody wants to talk about it because we always want to hide it under the guise of, oh, we love the kids and we're doing what's best for them. And on a personal level, I have received backlash and I have had some complications with that because I'm not interested in playing politics. And so politics makes my job harder. And so the same weight that you strive to play in politics because you make over 80K a year and you have those titles, I just don't feel the same way when I'm making $46,000. I don't really feel like not speaking up. And I don't believe that I was purposed to do that. Everybody has their own purpose. But in a classroom, how can I teach my kids how to be honest and true and move with integrity and morale? And then the moment when a situation pops up, I lose all mine, you know? And so I think it also comes with, in the music system, it comes with being the bad guy. Um,
Mm.
I was talking to a friend of ours. I'm not going to say his name because I know this is recorded, but it's a mutual friend of ours. He's in music education, a great educator, and is on fire, and he's so young. And, we were talking about it, and we were just like, it's a triple homicide. And we were just like, it's a triple homicide. We
Clock
were
it.
just
Clock
counting
it.
like all
Okay.
the things like that we're dealing with. Like, okay, first of all, I'm in Mississippi. Number two, I'm in Mississippi as a Black educator. Number three, I'm in Mississippi as a Black educator teaching fine arts. Number four, I'm in Mississippi as a Black educator teaching the lesser of the fine arts. Like, it's, we have everything against us. There's everything pinned against us. And yet somehow we have chosen this fight. And so I think it also comes with the awareness of knowing you are going to have to be the bad guy. And if I could give anybody any advice from just what I have been through and what I have seen, is that we are taught a lot in college to don't poke the bear. Don't poke the bear. Don't be the person that is on admin's bad side. Don't be the person, that's disagreeable and, hard to work with. And from what I've seen and from what I've understood, is it doesn't matter if you're a yes woman or yes man, or if you have an opinion, they're going to treat you exactly how they feel about you. And the people who have been the yes woman and the yes man have been the people who have been let go first when things have been come to push the shove. So I would rather have a voice and be able to sleep at night knowing that I may not be in the clique or the club or top rated, but still have my morale and, whatever your spirituality is, but know what God has placed me here to do is more beneficial than looking good for anybody else. Because at the end of the day, when you do your job and you do your job well, personally, I don't care what you think about me on a personal level. It would be nice for you to like me. Of course, we want to be liked. But at the end of the day, I'm not asking you to pay my bills. I'm not asking you to go and get margaritas with me. I'm not asking you to go to church with me. I'm not asking you to pray for me. It's not personal. This is business. And so, if it is business, there are boundaries in business. And I think oftentimes we only respect the higher up boundaries, but your boundaries is what you have to live with because oftentimes these higher ups don't step foot in your classroom. But you have to have the boundaries that maintain your classroom and the atmosphere that you want to have.
Period. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are okay. We are crushing through these topics like one thing or another. Every time I think of like a little question to like go, you already are there. But
It's
we're
just like our phone calls, Pookie.
I'm about to say we are twins basically. So yes. And I wanted to touch on that conversation you said you had with our mutual friend, and no, those a lot of those reasons, like I just want to like applaud the both of you because a lot of those reasons are the reasons why I chose not to go to a classroom. I saw all of that before me, and I was like, I personally don't have, at that time, I still am a little bit more of an insecure musician. And so I didn't have the, you know, confidence to go forward with it. The external support that's a whole nother conversation, but I feel like I could have used a little bit more of it.
Absolutely.
Recognize some of
Absolutely.
that confidence issues and boost it up in different ways. But
Yeah.
now that we've been so far removed, it is, at the end of the day, it is a me problem. So I would have
Mm.
loved and would have definitely been really grateful to receive a little bit more support in the way that it would actually help. But I still am pretty confident that at the end of the day that I probably would not have stepped foot in the classroom, simply because, again, it is, as you said, pointed out several times, just a Black person's and Mississippi Gulf Coast,
It's a battlefield, baby.
fine art. Like, I don't really want to. The jobs are slim. I don't really want to have to play the politicking. I don't really feel like doing that level of code switch because
Mm.
I don't know, even though I do know, because I'm still in a corporate S setting. Uh,
Yes.
but yeah,
And you are still in education. It just
I
is
am,
not in the
yeah,
classroom.
exactly. And another reason was something that you also touched on a little bit earlier is that I still have some modicum of the things you mentioned before. So for those of you listening, I work in graduate admissions at the University of Michigan, who have gracefully provided me with the email for using this Zoom call, so that way it can be an hour. I don't have to pay for it.
Reparations on some
So thank
level.
you.
On some
Clock it.
level,
Clock
they
it.
should give
Yes,
us
yes.
something.
The salary isn't much, but
I mean,
it does get
sometimes I
the
open my
job
laptop
due.
and I'm like, at least I get Canva Pro for free. At least y'all are giving me something.
Exactly. And this is one of them. So that's why I don't complain about the salary as much because the benefits are great. Um,
Hello.
but like where I'm located, I'm only 10 minutes away from the School of Music, Theater, and Dance. And so if I really wanted to, I could bring my instrument and I could probably sneak my way into in a practice room because I think they're all open. I don't think they have locks on them or anything like that.
Yeah.
I thought about, several times reaching out to a faculty member or something like that and seeing if like one of their students wants to, is going to be here for the summer and like wants to teach some like kind of like it's been a while since I've touched the saxophone type of lessons, like to get back into playing a little bit more, like developing my clarinet skills a little bit more. They have a music library, which I really need to use more often. But they have a music library, and so I don't even really have to step foot in the building. I can just basically, I can get it delivered to the library that's a little bit closer, and then I
Right.
can just cross the street. I don't even have to drive up there. So I still have a lot of the advantages of a college student without the community aspects. And that is also something that is not super, that's also the downside of moving 15 hours away is that I've had to, and again, we've had this conversation so many times about, you know, we're both on the opposite ends of it. I moved 15 hours away in a new area, and I'm just now starting to find people, different communities that I identify with to kind of, put myself out there. But that's still so much work and it's so draining. And then
Yes.
you are on the coast, and so a lot of us that have moved away or are just doing other things or just like also trying to figure stuff out in their mid 20s, and so it's also a little isolating in that way.
Yeah.
um, Now this would be solved if you would just move up here, but
I'm a visit. I'm a visit. We're working it
we're
out.
working it out. We are working it
We're
out.
working
But
it out.
yes, most of the topics that you talked about, I was just the whole time. I didn't want to do too much, but I was just like, yes, clock it, please. Because these are just all little aspects that, and again, since we were like about 4 years removed from graduating, um, some of it I have looked back on and was like, is this, are these certain aspects things that our instructors could have told us about? Or are these really just certain things that you have to figure out? I feel like with the administrative politicking, definitely could have been something that's a little bit more nuanced of a conversation, otherwise than just being a yes man. I think the conversation of um, like a lot of my friends who are educators, y'all's first year, you stayed over and you worked several hours. Maybe even the first, second year, and maybe at some of them I know are the third year, even into their third year, they were like, "Oh my god, yeah, I clocked." One of my friends, and I also asked him. He was showing me how many hours he worked, and it was for band camp. It was like 80, and I'm like, "Oh, my
And
little corporate
baby, you get
self."
paid the same. There is no
My little
overtime.
corporate self could
What's over
never.
what's
Oh my
overtime?
God.
What's
No, exactly.
overtime?
Where's the overtime? Where's the flex? Where's the,
We don't get
oh,
paid for that.
works
You
a
don't.
week worth of stuff. Can you get it? And so, like, things like that. And, I feel like I've had so many conversations with y'all when you finally realize, oh, I don't need to do this, or like, I literally can't do this anymore. And I feel like that could be expounded upon a little bit more because it is a niche conversation. You kind of have to do it your first year to get situated, to feel comfortable and things like that. And then there should be like a little, tips and tricks about how to wean off of that eventually, like about
And
when.
nobody talks about it.
Exactly. But then the like community aspect we were just talking about, I feel like that just really depends because I know a lot of people who stayed on the coast and they have their family and their friends and things like that. Or in grad school, I met a lot of people and they might have moved, 3, 4, 5 hours, but they went right back home. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. I definitely understand it. I think when I was younger, and like I would talk to people and they'd be like, "No, I'm just gonna stay here." And I'm like, "What are you doing? There's a whole world, blah blah blah." Now I'm like, "Good for you, good
Look,
for you. Just
look.
visit, good visit."
Life will humble you.
Yes,
Life will make you realize, you know what?
you got the right idea. You got the right idea. Just visit. That's why you make a lot of friends. And when they move out, like me, you just visit us, and then you just stay yourself right there.
Correct.
With people,
Correct.
because this whole finding new people, new things, and being by yourself
It's
is not
ghetto.
for the weak.
It's
It is
ghetto.
not for the
You're on
weak.
a
And that was the battle that
battlefield.
I had. Yes.
But you still, it's the battlefield. And the thing is, how do I put this? We had once again, summer conference was a great experience for me. I think I needed that. I don't think I would have been ready for this school year without summer conference. Um, but in our session, all of us were talking about it. And one veteran teacher, like that had been in the, because technically I'm a veteran teacher. They say anything after your first year, you're a veteran. You're
Oh,
not.
that's sad.
But
That's
yes,
I thought it was year
no.
3, but okay.
Look, but he had been teaching for like 20 plus years. No, like 10 plus years. And he was like, one thing that nobody ever tells y'all is that your first year doesn't count. And it was so real. It doesn't. The work that you do, the figuring it out, the ease of your first year, the hardships of your first year, the support that you get the first year, it never looks the same. It just never does. Um, and like I said earlier, that could be your first year somewhere else. Um, it never looks the same. It's kind of like college. Like you go your freshman year and it's all these orientations and it's like, oh, so great. You're a golden eagle or whatever the case is. They don't give you that your sophomore year or your
Hmm.
junior year.
Hmm.
And then your senior year, they're like, fabulous, you're about to graduate. Here is a list of things that you need to do and sign over to us, including your right pinky toe if you want this diploma. And also, here is a list of expenses you'll have to pay to get your degree that you have already spent $60,000 on, but you're going to have to pay us more money. And if you really think about it, it's kind of what you said earlier. You wonder how much of it could have been helped, or how much of it is things that you have to discover on your own. And I
Mhm.
think it's okay to say it's a mixture of both. I
Absolutely.
think it's a mixture of both. I think that life is hard enough, and there definitely are things that life has to teach you, and you have to learn how to navigate and figure out on your own. I also believe that if we had more support put in place for these things, it would help a lot of people, and it would help a lot of people not leave the education field,
Hmm.
not leave the music education field. Um, I worry about what colleges and their music programs are going to look like in the next 30 years. Um, I worry about it. And because so many of us, like, why would you labor for a job in these systems, feeling overlooked, feeling tired, um, when you could get a job at Target making more money with the same benefits and keep your peace of mind? you know and
Hmm.
I don't judge anybody who chooses that route. I think it's smarter. I mean, we know people who have gotten their degrees in engineering and IT, and went back to nursing school after they got a music
Let's
degree.
say like
And
dentistry or something like that. Yeah.
yeah, and they're happy. um the thing is, with the time, this is actually my first year I've been going home immediately after school, in the midst of like after school practices. It's been so weird. Like, I have a timer set on my phone. We're allowed to leave at 4. I have a timer set on my phone at 4:30. Anything that doesn't get done at 4:30, it has to get done the next day. Um, and I think the time is something that comes with experience, but it
Hmm.
also comes with what's on your plate. You know, the more you put on your plate, the more you're going to have to stay after. I know there are things that are in the spring with me having a new ensemble that I've never really worked with a cappella music before. It's taken more from me, but I have a system down where I've learned how to incorporate it in my day, or I've learned how to do it or stay till 5 or 5:30 because I want to. And I think one of the most profound things is Miss McMullen, an educator as well, going into her 4th year of education. Miriam, who was known as Miss Howe when we were in
Okay.
school.
I was like, okay,
Miss
cool.
McMullen,
Name dropping. Miriam. Okay.
yes, married. She's a married queen.
Yeah.
Um, Also one of my really good friends, and she talked to me, and this was over the summer, and we had a really good conversation, and she was like, Val, and I said, yeah. And she was like, I want to say something to you. She's like, I don't want you to get offended. And I said, oh, here we go. Yeah, JK. I was like, okay, like what? Like what? And she was like, I need you to promise me something. And I said, okay. Like, is this us promising that we're gonna get married? Like, if something happens to Dylan, like what's going on? But she was like, "No, I want you to promise me that you will go home this year." And I said, "What do you mean?" And she was like, "Because I was thinking like she meant like go home to visit my mom." I was like, "I just visited them. Like, what are you talking about?" Um, but she was like, "I know how easy it is to feel like because you don't have a spouse at home." Because you don't have kids at home, and because you're not surrounded with friends that you can just pull up on like you did in college, how it's easy to stay and work because there's not an immediate need for you to go home. But she was like, you need to go home. And my aunt had the same conversation with me, was a teacher, visited her in New York this summer, was a teacher, even taught overseas in Korea, all the things like that. And she was like, when you start going home, even if it's to lay on the couch and pet Susie, which is my dog, she was like, watch the quality of your life increase. She was like, you need to look at what you're around. She was like, these administrators, these other teachers, these people that, whether they know it or not, sometimes, in some years more than the time, make your job harder, they're not harboring on how they made your job harder that day. They make their decisions and they leave at 4 and 4:30 and go home to their families. And they don't think about that decision that they made at 10 o'clock that you have to fix throughout the whole school year. She was like, you need to go home. She was like, how is your spouse even going to find you if you're always at the office?
Ooh,
I
okay.
said, oh, hold on.
I was with
Hold
you at
on.
first. You need to slow down. Slow down,
She was
Savannah.
like, how are you making time for your friend? She was like, and I know you have the job as educators, we have after school practices. We have these things. She was like, that means when the kids go home, you go home. Unless you have a meeting, you go home. She was like, the kids will be fine. The kids will be fine. It's like when the kids go home, you go home. She said if that practice ends at 5 o'clock, you're out of there no later than 5:10, going home. And I've only been in school for like a week and a half, but I've been going home. Like literally saying, like sending things to the copier, saying I'll grab them in the morning, setting a timer for 5 minutes and whatever I can clean at the end of the day and put together, that's what I do and go home. And it has already lifted a load off of me within the first week and a half.
Hmm.
Go home. Even if it's to go home and call you on the way home, go home.
Hmm. I very much love that you're finally doing that. I don't
Try.
I did choose to not be in that profession. And my go home is a lot easier, but I never really say anything to y'all about it when y'all tell me stories like this because I'm like I can't say anything because I can go home pretty easy, but like I'm so glad when y'all finally do are able to or realize or both to just
Yeah.
go. Um,
Um,
oh gosh, and I can't wait to see how well this semester or this year just goes for you now that you'll start recharging and getting a little bit more of that
I'm gonna get
energy.
married. Y'all, I'm gonna get married. I'm so serious. I'm gonna get married. I'm gonna get on Ozempic. I'm gonna actually have time to go to the gym because I'm not at that school till 7 o'clock in the evening. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna have the ring on. That's why I took off this other ring. I'm gonna have the ring on. I'm gonna have a man. You're gonna be getting an invitation with a flight that's already planned out for you and paid
Okay,
for like a marriage.
okay.
I'm gonna get married. I'm gonna get married. I've given so much of myself up for this teaching, and I think, and I know we're running short on time, but I think that it's also something where in the process, you have to learn what works for you.
Hmm.
And I think we have been taught as musicians, especially coming from these college programs, that it takes all of you all the time. Um, from the moment you wake up to your evenings, you're in recitals, you're practicing, everything like that. That's a hard wake up call in education to know that it cannot be all of you and it can't be all you have, and that you can do great work and build these relationships with kids and have an amazing program and still have a successful and plentiful life that has nothing to do with them. So trying to adapt to that.
Okay, first off, manifest it, period. I look forward to receiving that wedding invitation. If it could just be in the summer, so it's a little bit easier to plan, that'd be great. But
Will
it's
be in
your
the
wedding,
summer.
so
It
it's
will
whatever.
be in the
Okay,
summer. It
okay.
definitely will be in the summer, and it will not be in Mississippi. It will be a little destination wedding.
Ooh, a little
Um,
destination wedding.
And
Okay.
we'll be married for like a good 6, 8 months before I even post anything. And then I'll do like a
Oh,
reception in
okay.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, here for it. As long as it's a little party and like maybe somewhere cute that I haven't been to, I'm gonna trust you. I trust you fully. Just send me the invite here whenever.
Will.
But yeah, honestly, yeah, we could spend a whole nother half an hour, but I won't hold you up on your Sunday afternoon. So I do have just I wanted to end on a more positive note because I know that these conversations can sometimes be a little bit draining. And again, the purpose of this whole thing was not to, make people relive potential traumas or trials and tribulations they've gone the last couple of years. It was more
Right.
so to just, bring a little bit of reflection into it, a little bit of, now that I've been in it, like looking back a little bit and being able to celebrate those wins. So I wanted to end this on a positive note. I have a couple of just little reflective things that I wanted to ask you. So the first one is, what are three things that you're proud that you've accomplished throughout these last 5 years?
Stayed alive.
Period.
That's a big one.
That's a big one.
Um, and for real, I am not shy of telling my mental health story. I have definitely refrained in the past few years, like as things have gotten better, but definitely gotten the help I needed. Um, to somewhat, try to live a life that is worth living. And so that's that. And I think because of that, no matter what I was dealing with personally, somehow every year my kids had a great year. Somehow every year we got
That's
superior.
professionalism. That's quality teaching.
Yeah,
That is just leadership. That's just ooh.
every year they're proud of what they've done. Every year, it's superiors. Every year, like proud of that. Number two, which feels weird to say because I think I kind of like basked in it like for like a week and then like I let it go. I won Mississippi Young Music Educator of the Year last year.
Thank you.
Um,
Yes, thank you. Because you kind of did, and I was gonna let you do it because you were a woman on a mission and you had things that you were trying to line up and stuff like that. But I remember you telling me about this. I saw it on Facebook first because you were really busy, and then you told me about it. And then you're like, so anyway, I have this next thing, and I'm just like, this is year 3 or 4, and you won this award, and you're just gonna skip past it.
I
And you're like,
and it
baby, we got things to do.
Yeah, I mean we do. But no, no, I just that was wild to me. And I'm so grateful for the nominations and those who just thought that highly of me. Especially in a field where it's so easy to feel unseen. And so, that's a big thing. And then the third thing, I mean, I hate to keep bringing it up, but summer conference. Summer conference was such an amazing experience, and I was asked to come in and be one of the directors. And just a chance. It's so different, teaching kids, but having all like colleagues in the state of Mississippi who can sing, like be on stage. It just was such a great feeling. And so, yeah, those are probably like my three really, really good accomplishments that I've done over the years.
Nice. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with plugging a professional development that actually develops you. So like,
Yeah,
yeah, that is rare and
it was
few and far
good. It was
between. So
so
like,
good. It was
yes,
so good.
okay. But the next thing is it's like what's something in the near future that you're looking forward to? It could be a job thing, it could just be a regular music thing, it could be a personal thing like a trip or something like that.
I'm looking forward to getting my master's. It
Okay.
is not going to be in music education.
Mhm.
Oh, yay. It's not.
Mhm.
In full transparency, anybody who knows me knows I've always said this. Teaching is not something I view retiring from.
Mhm.
And I've always known that teaching was a purpose of mine. But I've also accepted along these years, somehow I've always been a teacher, whether it's been at a church director and, a children's director or this. And so, but what I'm moving into, it still does include music. It still does include the fine arts. And so I'm excited to pursue that and just kind of see where that takes me.
Okay, period.
Yeah.
Yes, I will have to have you back on to kind of explore that a little bit too. And there was one or two other
Yeah.
questions that I kind of wanted to ask as well. Okay, number three. You've dropped a treasure trove of little nuggets already, but like, what's one
Okay.
more like really solid, definitive piece of advice to somebody who's recently graduated or is about to graduate?
You know more than you think you know.
Love it. Okay, love it.
You know
Okay.
more than you think you know. And it's okay to trust yourself while you are surrounded by people who feel like you should be more humble or coachable or
Mhm.
receptive, all the words that people use to remind you that they've done more than you or they've been in it longer or they've seen more than you. Um, Two things can be true at once, that you've done this longer than me and that you've seen more than me, but that I also know what I'm talking about. And so to trust yourself and don't let these people play with you because they will try.
Period. Period. All right, last one. Are there any plugs that you want to just put out there? It could be like personal ensembles, websites, like a band, or just your band or choir or something like that. If you have like social media for them, so that way people can like
Yes.
about your song.
Our Facebook got hacked last year.
Oh,
Our Facebook got hacked and it was doing so great, but we got it up and running. Actually, on my choir council, we have social committee chairs and they're like over the thing. So like we have an admin, like which of course we have to have,
yep.
for that.
Mhm.
But the kids are the ones who like take the pictures and make the posts and everything. So it's Go-shay High School Choir. Um and all the things like that. Now, if you just want to keep up with me personally, I don't mind. And I think my handle's like Vintage Val or something like that.
Mhm.
But I'm always posting music and all the things like that that I like. And so, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. Thank you so much, Val, for doing this.
Of
Indulging me
course.
in these little projects. Just from our conversation, I'm looking forward to continuing this with other people, hearing about their
It's gonna
sister
be
strategies
good.
and
It's gonna
things.
be so good.
Yes, I'm hoping that. And for the 10 of you out there that will probably listen to this, yeah, I'll probably be posting this when I do post this because it won't be right now. I'm still trying to finish that little website that I've been saying I've been trying to finish for a while now.
And you're gonna
But
finish it. And you're gonna finish it.
and I'm gonna finish it. I'm really close. I'm just being lazy at this point. But these Squarespace payments keep hitting. I'm like, okay, we need to
Whew.
actually start. Yeah, they're only like 30 something dollars. It's not that bad. But
30 something dollars is a tank of gas.
it is. It is. It is. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Motivation to just finish it. But I will hopefully be posting this like bi-weekly. And so whenever this first one comes out, stay tuned and listen to. Oh my God, I just said stay tuned. Just listen to the next one.
He's a
And let me know
podcaster.
what your thoughts are. It's be posted on YouTube, so feel free to like leave comments and or on Facebook. Which I will be plugging this on. But yeah, let me know if this helps and stuff like that. And thank you so much.
Well,
All
thank you
righty.
so much for having me.
Yeah. All righty.